Hey, it's Don Skaggs again with Empowered Inventing, the one place where we could try to help you change your behaviors, because if we can get you to behave like a successful inventor or entrepreneur, then a lot of times we get the behaviors right and the nuts and bolts stuff could just fall right into place. The behaviors are the underlying things that get you to move forward. So anyway, I want to talk to you today about a tale of two products. And one product you're probably somewhat familiar with, but this other product maybe you've not even heard of, even though it's out there and they still sell them in the marketplace. And these are two very, very similar products. And the first product I want to talk to you about is called the Snuggie. Unless you've been living under a rock the last 10, 20 years, you know what the Snuggie is. It's that thing that you put over and you put your arms through, and it's a blanket with sleeves in it. So you snuggle up and you're on the couch and you've got the sleeves, so you can use the remote, you can drink the coffee, but you're still got a blanket over top of you sitting down. And they were just all the rage just not that many years ago. They're still out there. They still sell a lot, I'm sure. But there for a while, they were crazy. They were everywhere. And but before there was a Snuggie, there was another product. Maybe you've not heard of this product. If you've heard me tell some of these other videos before, you might have heard about it. So there might be a little bit of a spoiler here. But there was another product before that called the Slanket. And the reason they called it a Slanket is because it was a blanket with sleeves in it. And this was a college student. It's kind of an interesting story. This was a college student, and the college student was in his dorm room, and the dorm room didn't have good heat. In the wintertime, it was ice cold, and he was sitting there, and he had a blanket over him, and he was shivering, and he was trying to use the TV remote. He was watching TV, and he couldn't use the TV remote through the blanket. It just wouldn't go through. So he tore a hole in the blanket, stuck his arm through so he could use the remote. And he got to thinking while he was sitting there, and he thought, well, you know, wouldn't it be cool if I had a blanket with sleeves on it? You know, I know what I'd call it too. I'd call it the Slanket. So he went home and had his mom make him one. And he thought, this is cool. I bet I could sell these. Well, one thing led to another, and he wound up eventually on QVC, the big shopping channel. And he was very, very successful. So the Slanket came out first. There was no Snuggie at this point. And he was out there, he was on QVC, he was selling them. Now beforehand he went and talked to some attorneys. He said, can I patent this? And they said, no, it's a backwards rope. There's no way you can patent it. It's too obvious. And so he listened to the attorneys that he met, and so he didn't do any kind of patent protection at all. He didn't do any kind of protection that I'm aware of. And so he went out there and he sold them, and that was great. He was first to market. He was selling these at a clip of about $2 million a year. And then it was about 2008, and the as seen on TV people were looking for products, and they were looking around. They look everywhere for products that are successful. So, you know, you're in the gun sights when you start to be successful. And this is something else. You know, a lot of people, inventors and entrepreneurs will tell me, Don, I'm so afraid somebody's going to steal my idea. Well, usually they really don't care that much when it's just an idea. But when it's a popular idea, when it's out there and you're on the dance floor and you're cutting the rug and you're becoming successful and you're selling a lot in one place or another, then you get in the gun sights of a lot of these other companies. So anyway, more on that later. But so the Snuggie came out, and they saw, hey, this Slanket's pretty cool. Let's make our own. We'll call it the Snuggie. It doesn't have any patent protection. Hey, it's fair game. We'll go out there, and that's perfectly fine. If they don't have protection, that means you can go out and make one yourself and sell one yourself. Now, they were positioned just right in the as seen on TV, because 2008, you know, the economy was kind of going south at that point, and the commercial time, the price per minute, price per second, whatever it is, for commercial time was getting very, very cheap because of the economy tanking. So because it got cheap, they said, hey, let's buy up a whole bunch of TV time, and let's just push the living snot out of this stuff. So that's why, and if you remember this back in '08, you know what I'm talking about. You saw the Snuggie everywhere. Every time you turned the TV on, there was an ad for the Snuggie. Well, apparently that worked very, very, very well, because the Snuggie wound up being 10 times more successful. Now the Slanket, still doing $2 million a year. The Snuggie, they were doing closer to $20 million a year. They were 10 times as successful by being as seen on TV and just having that right timing and just flooding the market with TV ads. So the Snuggie came in second. It was a fast follower, but they were more successful. Now, let's just kind of look back at all this. Now, did that mean that the Slanket failed? Absolutely not. The guy was making $2 million a year, and he still sells them. He's still out there. Would the Snuggie have happened if the Slanket was protective? Well, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I've kind of got mixed feelings about that. Now, you know, you want to listen to professional people, and you want to find, and again, we teach a whole video, and actually there's a class on this, finding the right providers, and that includes attorneys, and what to listen to, what not to listen to. Don't let them drive the bus, but let them, but use them as the right tools that you need to move your business idea or startup forward. And he listened to these guys, and they may or may not have given him good advice. And they said, no, you don't do anything. You can't protect this. Well, maybe he could have found something unique, something novel he could have thrown in there and just had that scary beware dog sign. Would that have kept the Snuggie people at bay? Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't have. But here's the real point. Would it have mattered? And my kind of post-mortem look at all this is the fact that they both didn't starve to death. That neither one was ruined. Neither one, now would the Slanket have taken up $20 million if there was no Snuggie? Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't have. Maybe it wouldn't have affected it at all. Maybe the Snuggie was just because they advertised so much. Maybe if the Slanket went and did the as seen on TV exposure and gone on infomercials, maybe they would have been the $20 million one. We don't know that. But I kind of think that maybe that was part more of their success than them just undercutting him. So, and again, they had a perfect right to, because he didn't have any kind of protection in place. Could he have had a protection in place? Maybe he could have, maybe he couldn't have. I would have tried just anyway, just so I could say it was patent pending. Even if the patent hadn't gone through, I would have tried to patent something about it. I would have found something. And you can find a lot of things that are very, very novel about your idea if you look hard enough, and you really do try to find that thing that's novel and different. Even if you're out there and you find something that is, oh, look at that, there's something that's almost like mine out there that's already patented, right out in the market, then that's a good sign. Because number one, you're finding a little bit of validation of, yeah, people have a problem and they want it solved, and they're already buying these to solve them. But on the other hand, you can say, well, okay, let me just walk away with my tail between my legs. No, don't do that. Find something different. Find something that maybe is like that, but goes one step further. And that's your novelty. That's your invention. That is your part. You say, oh, this was well and good. That was a worthy try for them to do this over here. But what we did is we took it a step further and we did this. And that's your innovation. And that's how you get stuff protected. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. Again, I'm Don Skaggs. This is Empowered Inventing TV. Be sure and check out our website, empoweredinventing.com. We've got lots of really cool tools and other videos, and of course on our YouTube channel. If you're on there, please be sure and like and subscribe. We want to build our tribe, and I will look to see you at the next meeting, workshop, maybe one of our online classes, or on the next video.